right, everybody, you know why we're here. We're here for the Kaguya movie. Let's fucking go. The kiss that never ends. What the fuck is going on here? We're getting a Kaguya movie into 4 little mini episode parts. Let's fucking go. Yeah. Y'all, this is why we're here. We're doing this.
Yes.
This is not like a finale or something. This is, I guess, just another arc that they're just doing as a movie, because why not? They've got us hook, line, and sinker, so let's do that. We're going to be reacting to each one in their little respective chunks. So you're getting all 4 of them right here, right now.
Because that's how it's supposed to be, Crunchyroll.
Yeah. But you know, that's what it is. Hopefully the subtitle situation is good, because you know Kaguya is legendary for that being an issue. But yeah. Let's go see our bakas, our idiots again.
Yes.
But without further ado, let's get into this. December. Shigami. Oh my. Huh. Well,
that's important.
Nice.
Says the man who's about to get embroiled in a love triangle.
Yeah. Yes. That kiss. And then, yeah. The kawaii voice of Kaguya. And then the kiss, you know. Hayasaka. More criminal. I like that we're getting this little bit of recap here. Because we, of course, watched it, but, like... But the voice acting is so special. Yeah.
Oh! Yes! Yes!
Okay!
I wasn't expecting that we'd get something like this for this, but okay.
Whoa.
Oh, yes!
Yes! Yes.
Nice.
Damn.
So we're getting a dance sequence, right? Like in canon universe, right?
Oh. I mean, I expect that has to happen, right? Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. I swear I did. So our relationship should be.
Yep. Yeah, those insecurities don't go away.
Yeah. And we're back. And we can be back to the beginning. Yes. Nothing to see here. Yes.
Right, we're gonna clear things up.
The moment. Hello, are you so happy today?
This is amazing.
Oh,
holding her in the air.
Yeah. Oh. She has to be sleep deprived.
Wow.
Oh, it's a 6 heart! It's an ultra rare!
Yeah.
Oh, go into it, yes. The love Bible.
And Hayasaka didn't have the heart to really tell her and ruin the memory.
She actually broke the necklace.
Yeah.
It's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, she actually managed to say it.
The separating.
Yeah. Kaguya.
Oh. Yeah. Yes.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah. She read her mind entirely. She did not say that out loud. Oh,
Wow.
sorry. Kaguya is now dead.
Uh-huh. All right, girl talk round 2.
Have you ever had sex? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Wait. Oh.
then she lied as easily as she breathed.
Yeah. Averting her eyes even when it's over the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Yep. In that room, in the council room. Yeah. No! Hayasaka, shut the fuck up!
What? How?
Well, the best part about this is that she still turns into Kaguya-chan.
Right.
You
Well,
know?
that's the 40% denial.
Yep, exactly. Even had the investors and the bowl like in the depression.
Right. And now you can't really have an actual conversation with her like this.
Right. Yeah. The gremlin has arrived.
Yep.
Kaguya Fluffy.
Nope. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh no, there's none left.
And that's how she brilliantly gets them out of the room.
Now they're alone.
This was all a ploy the entire time. Okay, no, it's not an act.
True. Yeah.
I will go to her level.
Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah.
This is so cute!
I love it.
Kaito!
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Right, because they have to actually still do something for Christmas Eve, right?
Right.
And yet, time's running out.
Oh, yes. Damn. Kind of looks like Kage on the front. Yeah. Teleports behind you. Nothing personal, kid.
Yep. Do something to you. What are you talking about? A Christmas miracle?
Based. Absolutely based.
Uh-huh.
Ino's like, I was about to smite the motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh. What?
Oh! Mission is a goal!
Oh wait, is it like a group Christmas party thing?
No, it might be family, dude.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Ah! Ah! Ah!
Yeah.
Ah! Holy shit. Ino just...
I mean, she just mentioned the thing that might solve this whole situation.
That's the thing. Everyone's mind is on sex right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ino can't even... Yeah. Yep.
She doesn't believe it.
Oh, she understands, yes. Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Ah.
It's just in the Lost and Found. That was it. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Damn.
Oh shit.
We are setting up
No wonder this isn't the end of the show.
yeah, we are setting up a whole thing like later.
Yep.
Yes! The Council of Kaguya's makes a return!
Alright.
Yes!
Let's go.
Yes! Holy shit!
And now she's the one.
This
at the
movie is
stand.
peak!
Yeah.
Proscribed. Just the... Okay. It's sound logic, but you are not sex workers, so...
Right.
You would definitely be boyfriend and girlfriend at this point, but you wouldn't be lovers. There's a difference. Exactly! More than friends, less than lovers.
Yep.
Great! Great!
Right.
That is accurate! Yeah, your family. Yeah. We're establishing stakes right here. This is very good.
Yep.
Even though...
Oh.
Wow. Oh my god, no one knows what to do! God, these poses.
I love how
Yeah.
the dumbass Kaguya is the sensible one here.
Exactly. What? Yeah, why? Make me go doki doki.
Insurgents.
You didn't
Then
see how
join
much
us.
I worked in season 1. Yeah, I was season 1 Kaguya. You don't get to throw that shit in my face.
Right.
I worked so hard to get here.
Yeah.
I'm the schemer, you motherfuckers.
Right. I'm the whole premise of this goddamn show.
Completely true. Exactly. It's so funny because Kaguya did go through a full transformation from season 1 to season 2.
Dream is collapsing.
Whoa. Are you awake? Yeah. Whoa. Oh shit.
Oh
Oh
shit.
shit. Yeah, she's reverting. Ooh.
Fuck.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
Okay. We got ourselves a reestablishing of where we're at in the story.
The stakes, the conflicts that are at play, but
Yeah,
then
we touched
also
on
new
all
ones.
the characters.
We touched on all the characters.
And Ice Queen Kaguya
Ice Queen is back, and
back.
that does make sense because we would need it needs to be addressed in order to be vanquished for good, right, and assimilated into the full council of Kaguya's. With
because
balance.
Kaguya is all these individual parts together. But the thing is that whenever one of them goes out of balance, it gets
Right.
It gets problematic.
And after something as big as a first kiss that you're like, oh, would this ever happen?
Right.
It makes sense that then you would start questioning everything and start freaking out and all of that stuff in ways that isn't just adorable, but could actually be very unhelpful.
Yeah. I've had many situations where I have something actually really good happen, and I question everything and self-sabotage like almost immediately.
Yeah.
And a first kiss like this could totally be one of those instances. But damn, it's a perfect way to start a movie because we got amazingly funny scenes. Like in addition
hilariously
to just
funny.
Oh,
Yes.
we are potentially going to dig down and tear out the old roots of Kagi as a character and rebuild her from the ground up because this would not only, set up a new status quo if her and Shirogane, I forgot if we're calling him Miyuki or Shirogane, but yeah, if they end up actually being like boyfriend and girlfriend, it could lead to them having sex or having just much more firmly established dynamics where the actual story would change. So having your main character, Kaguya, go through a form of a transformation or a deconstruction is like,
I love it.
Perfect.
And the fact that this is happening in a movie, I also really appreciate because I would have much less patience for something like this if it was happening in a TV show where it's this happens and then wait a week. It's like, come on. But as a full movie, it's like, okay, yes,
pacing-wise,
we're bringing up the problem
and within 90 minutes.
Exactly. Right.
So, all right, let's get to the next one, though. Oh, no. She's disappointed. Yep.
Oh, my God.
She's like, oh, no, I don't want to teach him anything ever again. Persona, yes! We're masking, yes!
And, of course, they show Ino as the example.
Yep. I mean, that's not Ino.
Maki.
Yeah. If they actually get into some cool aspects of masking here, that's gonna be pretty awesome.
I mean, they've already got some cool masking with the border.
Yes.
I hope this doesn't go on too long for Miyuki's sake, though. Oh, yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
We're gonna have to freeze frame on that. I saw, like, the first line. Wow.
God damn.
Seriously?
Literally saying all the things that he was worried she'd say. Maybe this is the setup for how Kaguya is going to finally give up the charade and confess her feelings to him. No.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, this mask is brought about by, like, childhood trauma at this point.
Right.
'Cause that's the only way you would be this cold and unfeeling. That's a logical deduction.
Sure.
No shit.
See.
Oh my god.
Wow.
She actually said it.
I have no sympathy for Kaguya at this point.
No, this like because if you put yourself in Miyuki's situation, this is traumatizing.
Like
her wanting to hold his hand, Jacob.
God, fuck.
Yeah, this definitely works better as a movie.
Yes.
Because if you had to.
Oh.
Now Hayasaka's gonna come in clutch.
Yeah.
This Hayasaka was also instrumental in saving Kaguya from this aspect of her, you know? the
Hasn't
art.
been able to sleep all night.
One coffee! Good. Separate the two of them from each other and have... Ishigami's gonna call such bullshit on this once he hears what happened. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Cracks!
Just cracks? Holy shit!
And as if that weren't enough!
Yeah.
He said the trauma words!
Yeah.
Thank you!
Yeah.
Thank you! What's interesting about this is showing basically, just the idea that how they see her is different, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yes! Yes!
Oh shit!
Oh no, you're trying to do battle with the paladin here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's get the animation. Running away from her feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coward.
All right.
No. This is good. Let's have a confrontation here. Ah.
Ah! it accelerated it. Good.
Oh.
That's honest, at least. Please say no.
Yeah.
Please
Same
say
thing
no.
again, yeah. Yeah. This is abuse.
Yeah. Forget what she said. Just leave, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
God, and then putting the blame on him?
Yeah.
Holy shit. No.
Eno as a dog does sound about right.
Mm-hmm.
Very much eager to please, but also a rules follower.
Mm-hmm. I would love to hear Kaguya say everything that she's done up until now,
Yes.
and then her to just be horrified. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Cool. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Uh-huh. Right. Yeah, this person did exist before. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, the only one.
Uh-huh.
Cool. Okay. Getting straight to it. Right, you leapt forward in one direction.
Yeah.
Right.
And jumped off a cliff in another. Obviously, what she means is something completely opposite from what she's saying.
But I don't care about his feelings, so
Right.
he just didn't do it for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah,
After I did everything to make sure he wouldn't do it.
We're going backwards now.
Uh-huh,
This
yeah.
is good. This is good.
Right. So she's able to admit it to herself, but she does everything but...
Jacob, she's broken. She's literally... Yeah. So you have to go this direction so that she can come back around to acknowledging his feelings.
No.
Yeah. No.
It's almost like they're related.
Yeah.
Anti-Kaguya with the anti-perfume.
In some ways, yes. There's a way they can transform this because it was something that she feels like he didn't necessarily want, you know? Yeah. Ishigami. Oh.
氷かぐやとは篠宮かぐやの多面性の一つである。それは誰もが持つ他者への警戒心であり、同時に好きなのに。
And so she confesses first.
本日の勝敗、篠宮かぐやの敗北。
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Still running. Yep.
Oh no! Now it's 3 people.
All right. I'll tell you, like, that was the hardest episode of Kaguya to watch.
Holy shit.
Ever. But that character still exists. Mm-hmm. It's just the fact that they were never actually fully addressed. But that was during the time when we had Kaguya unable to admit to herself that she liked the president. She was not just a tsundere to him
everybody else, but
and everybody else,
to herself,
but she was to herself. So now she's evolved from that, but she's also reverted back in the way that she actually just treats and respects people. So it's the kind of thing that's very hard to watch because it's classic romance. What is it called? Where you backpedaling.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So all right. Y'all, that's a really, really tough sell to give some people a very hard backpedaling like this and say that it's in character when the majority of the conflict of it comes from her specifically like going after him because for the most part, when people go through kind of a really harsh kind of moment like this, where they kind of end up masking into some really unlikable traits, people primarily start to kind of avoid them because it's just painful to be around.
Yep.
And thus the person they're not necessarily aware of the damage that they're doing, but what they'll end up doing is they'll end up getting isolated and then in questioning, wait, why am I isolated right now? Oh, right, it's these things, and then they do a little bit of self. So the opportunity for reflection is there, but it's the kind of thing where we don't want the story to be going into a situation where, like what they're doing with Maki's little moment here of trying to say that like, no, actually, you just need to be more understanding of Kaguya's feelings. That's like practically triggering for us.
Okay,
Like-
so the best example or the best reason I would say for these kinds of events to happen is because yes, Kaguya is traumatized. Her family situation was all kinds of awful. And so in a situation where she's scared, she's, excited, but she is also very scared and she doesn't know what to do.
Hayasaka's words really...
And Hayasaka's words fucked her up.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I'm pissed at you, Hayasaka. No, you can't just brush that off as a comedy joke, which the show is kind of doing, which I'm more than a bit upset by.
We haven't had a conversation really with Hayasaka yet.
But in this situation, the problem is that it starts as a thing where it's like, oh, this is Kaguya's trauma rearing its ugly head again. Cool, that's something that can be defeated and dealt with. But then when she starts getting really abusive with Shirogane, and then that's uncomfortable, but it could still be the trauma, right?
Right.
But then it goes into the thing of her understanding what she really wants and admitting to herself that I like him, I want him to hold my hand, I want him to do all these things.
Well, she's still masking. That's the thing.
No. But the problem is that then it's something where she's specifically doing all of this stuff to him while knowing, not necessarily knowing full well because she's not thinking at all about his feelings.
No.
But it's something where it is something where she is still in control of herself. It's not a full like reversion, getting away.
Well, that's the thing as to why it's painful is that it's because she's in control of herself. The idea that for the most part, when people then shift into an aspect of themselves that is just downright just awful to a specific person, they can be self-aware of their own feelings in regards to the way that is. But if they don't extend that out, it doesn't matter whether she's in control or not. She's hurting him. It's plain and simple. The idea that she wants something out of her lack of communication, it doesn't really matter. The point is that until she does some reflecting, until she looks at things this way, it's going to be something that keeps him at arm's length. And I think that's being handled, at least from his side of things, really well here. He's going to other people and being like, what the fuck is going on?
Yep.
And now he just needs to keep going around the circle.
To get to somebody who will actually give him something that's worth saying.
Or at the very least, something that gives him a bit of actionable stuff so that he can de-stress here. Because I feel like the scary thing is not whether or not he gets good people around him here, but it's about whether or not he internalizes what she's saying here to the point that it reverts him. Because there's a way that they could do this, and it'd be very, very dick move here. But I will say, this show is based around the idea of making fun of the whole trope that in romance, you can never actually have progress because you'll always backpedal once things get to a certain point.
Right.
And this story has been playing with that, especially in season 2, in a very specific way where you can have progress go up to the point where it's like, it's incredibly good, and then they stall things right at that point, but the characters develop and grow. So what this is they're going to develop and grow, but we're really grinding the gears so hard. So it's this incredibly hard stop moment here. And thus, yes, I'm very glad this is a movie, because the 2 episodes here are absolutely going to revert the reversion, and it's just what kind of consequences will come about is because of that.
Right. And the thing that makes the thing that's the cherry on top for this episode for me, that makes the episode so hard, is not just that Kaguya does all of this stuff, but essentially the conclusion of this, you know, chunk of the story, which granted it wasn't supposed to be split up in the first place, is essentially that, no, it's your fault, Shirogane, right? It's not her fault at all. When he actually calls her out on it and he's like, no, I'm just gonna leave, right? Then she's like, no, you can't do that, right? Like all of the things that are the good outs here that the show isn't taking, and so now it's just a belief in the show because of what's happened up until now, that it is not going to leave with this awful state that it's in, where it's
of course not.
It's your fault, buddy. You know.
Yeah.
So,
but all right, let's get into the next one. It's a callback. Wow. This is such a callback. Interesting. A desire that she wants. She's unable to communicate.
Right.
The simplest aspect.
Don't.
Yes, get everybody in here so they can see this. All right. Yeah. Good.
Good job.
Divert.
Yep.
Damn.
Wow.
So mean. Ino just here, just... Wait, sugar really in rolled omelets? I didn't even know that was a thing. Wow, that's very sweet.
Oh my god.
Yep, good. She's pushing everyone away. Yep. Ishigami's just gonna be like, damn, what a bitch. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
yeah.
Fuck. Okay.
Damn it. Let me rub that off with my thumb here. Let go of my hand, yeah. No.
He collapses from exhaustion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. Damn, good. Okay. Let's do the hospital thing, yeah.
Nice. I messed up.
Yeah. Yeah. This was on the board that was mentioned in the previous episode, yeah. Whew! Yeah. because you weren't. That's the thing. You were taught this. You chose this. You were molded by this. It's a whole mix and mess. Oh, that's such a cool image.
And then that changed.
Nice. Oh. Oh. That visualization, because of the time she would get her hand slapped.
Yeah.
The thing that pierces out to them, but also through her. Wow.
Yep.
Oh. Oh,
Wow.
Whoa.
Oh, I love it.
Fuck, let's go. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. And Hayasaka being here for this moment. He is the quack, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we didn't tell him the instances of what brought this on, but...
Oh my god! Wait!
That is amazing! He gave it his... He said everything. Yep. Yep, he's got a lot. Here we go. Yeah. Oh. Oh, fuck.
Oh, he showed bravado, all right.
Damn. Oh. Wow.
Gotcha.
Wow. Right. And thus he's been masking as well this whole time. Yeah. Wow. For sure. Your advice is not sound at all. Okay. What was that? Aw. Classic male abuse situation. No worries. Don't worry about me.
Yep. Treat him like a decent human being.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Wow.
Hayasaka, come on.
Yep.
You lost your way, but be the goat again.
It's still not entirely a win because then she's not actually being vulnerable with him.
Well, it's still, but. Good. Bring this up. Yeah. Yeah, we both. Nice. The masks kept the kiss from actually happening. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Okay.
I love the hand coming off
Yeah,
there.
taking the mask off.
Uh-huh. Lady Kaguya is seeking.
Right.
That I want, but... Yeah, that's gotta hurt so much, the idea that you never really had a chance, except for that part in the... Yeah. Right. Wow. I'll just delve even harder.
Yep.
Oh, what do you expect?
Yeah.
What do you expect? Yeah.
Because of course.
Fuck.
Okay.
Oh, that was such a good episode. All right.
Okay.
This is the prelude to the final part.
Yep.
We've got a lot of ground to cover in one episode.
We do.
And I'm worried.
I'm very worried.
Yeah.
Like, because there were a lot of wonderful things that happened from a character standpoint here, of the characters digging deep and thinking about what makes them tick and their own issues and problems and things like that.
Yeah.
But there was also like some retroactive, Kaguya was thinking these things, back when she was being awful to Shirogane.
Well, no, even it doesn't matter whether she was thinking them, because that's, regardless of what she was thinking, what she communicated. Yeah, exactly.
So
right.
So now we're in a situation where Hayasaka did them a solid and gave them each a helping hand.
Right, because they really needed it.
But that is not actually them progressing on the struggle that they themselves have with the other person, because they didn't know that they were talking to the other person.
Right, yeah.
So yeah.
This is the person trying to kind of step in and do what they can to smooth things over.
Right.
But it's not ultimately going to solve anything because, well, at the very least, Kaguya is still deceiving herself a little bit. But then also, we finally see what Miyuki's mask was the whole time. And I love that they didn't just pull just Kaguya's the one that's been masking here. Kaguya's got some obvious masks, but the idea that we didn't see the obvious one that, no, why did she like him? Well, it's because he tried so hard. In some ways, he summoned up all this courage that maybe didn't even make sense for his character at the time. But now we realize, oh, it's not just that. he's been doing this ever since he was a little kid. He has been performing for affection ever since he was a little child, to the point that he blames himself probably for his mother leaving them.
Oh yeah. Oh
Fuck.
yeah. And the
Like, that's...
The thing is that I actually kind of liked some of the advice that the doctor was saying.
Some of it, yeah.
Some of it. Because if you find
bad,
yourself having a mask, accepting the mask and making that truly, like, integrate it into who you are is a very legitimate option. But, you know, we're going here with the taking off the mask.
Yeah,
cool. But you know,
he's not taking off the mask.
He's
now.
not taking off the mask, though,
No,
which absolutely makes sense.
And now it's time for probably her to see the example of what it's like to see the mask applied in an even stronger dose here. So,
and the thing that makes me the most hopeful for this segment is that it's setting it up to where after Kaguya has thoroughly burned the bridge between them, she is now set up in the situation where she's going to have to be the one to go after him, right? And so I like that.
I like that too. But yeah, all right, let's get into the next one.
Oh, shit. That's what I'm most excited for. Like,
holy cow, she's got dartboards and a penthouse and Subume. I keep forgetting that everyone in this academy is super mega wealthy and stuff.
Right. Okay.
And thus our new tradition was born.
Yep.
Sparkling cider. Like, oh, they have little the
sipping dishes
bowls for like alcohol, but like, and now the actual
party.
Yeah.
Wow, that looks great.
Ugh. Holy cow.
Oh, because Hayasaka got a day off.
Yeah. Oh my god. Damn.
Yep.
They just got a hotel room. Mm-hmm. And she's just like, wait. She's leaving the country.
Oh my god.
Ah, cool. Little gift exchange. Nice.
Oh.
Ah, it's perfect for you. Oh, right. Of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That was very roundabout and clever. Yes. Oh my god.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's so extra.
Oh god.
Oh my god. Yep.
I'm the only normal person.
Yes! It's a worse gift than mine!
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes! It reflects his emotional... Oh my god. Spike this drink too. Holy shit, girl. No. Yeah. Yeah. Whoa, it's the same shape and everything. Wait.
Yeah, she doesn't get the vulnerable thing because he has to be better. Yeah.
Oh, good, he's unraveling, he's unraveling. Yeah, yeah, take it, take it. I'm going to attain enlightenment! Okay. This is important. Yes, now tear.
Brilliant.
I
love it.
That's dastardly. Why, though?
I want to unmask you while still wearing her mask herself. You did?
Yeah, keep talking, Kaguya.
When?
Keep talking. Uh-huh, she's... Mm-hmm. Yeah. Keep going. Keep going.
Alright, she's communicating what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the rationale that I've been telling you this whole movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now he's discrediting himself?
No, because he was attracted to her from
right,
the
even when
outset.
she was Ice Princess. Yeah.
Right. But it's the idea that she then went into this specific state to hurt him that, he fell away. So now he's like, yeah, I like this. Not the specific instance of it, but yeah. Fuck. Oh, it's a little toy.
Because you're by yourself so much at home.
Yeah. Hmm. His eye flick. Just a light kiss. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
That's sweet. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true.
Yeah.
In our own different ways.
Yeah. Oh, I thought there was something underneath.
Yeah,
it for a
yeah.
second there. Wow. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Yes. Oh. Okay. And
Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right.
Huh? Yeah. You're all me. Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, wait. Is this what she looked like in the ED for season 3? Yeah, I think it is. Oh. Oh, God. What happened?
Yes! Yes! I was wondering why he had that costume! Wow.
Oh, my God.
Uh-huh.
Not putting up a front.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Right. What? Wait, what?
Wait. Wait.
Okay, that's just something that happened.
You can't just throw that in there at the end without, like...
That is so adorably, like, goofy. Oh. Oh. Close. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Then you have to start working the relationship, yeah. Right. No. No, there's not. Right.
Okay.
New game start. Oh.
All right.
So future stories are just New Game Plus.
Yeah.
We're no longer in Love is War.
Nope.
We're in...
Right, we have officially changed the show.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Okay.
This was one of the most gutsy, ballsy, and potentially, like, I would say, like, controversial moments in the story we've ever gotten in Kaguya because you did, like, 3 things that are, like, cardinal sins for romance, and then you still ended up coming out with them having a really good understanding of each other and a full solidified love confession, new direction. The story's forever altered.
Taken on its own.
Wow.
The final episode in particular, I think, is like flawless peak everything we could have possibly wanted from from this kind of situation with Kaguya.
Right. It's rough how
the problem is
how we
everything
got,
else.
Well, the roughest part is just how we got here.
Right.
So I think that this is one of those things where you're you're either going to have a very stark problem with it, or it's not even going to be that big of a deal at all. And that's okay. Either way you go. But I think the main point that needs to be made here is that Kaguya and Miyuki specifically did not actually change. This is what's really important here.
Okay.
They both just unveiled themselves beyond their masks.
Yeah.
And I think what's really important here is that when you go through a moment of character development versus characterization, you identify which is which. The main thing for both of them is that they have, over the course of this story, been masking who they really were to each other.
Yep.
And thus, that created complications when they would have intimacy, because as they started to look at each other more closely, they realized that they weren't actually engaging with the real person.
And yet, that is not 100% it, because the decision to still take the leap of faith, even if it is with a mask on, that is still progress, right?
It is also vulnerability.
Right.
I think that is the very important distinction to make in how Kaguya and Miyuki are very different. Is that Miyuki's thing is the opposite. He uses his mask to basically force him into making vulnerable decisions, where he puts himself out there tremendously, exudes tremendous amounts of effort to essentially achieve dominion over his environment. He very much wants to come out on top in that regard. Kaguya has masked basically from the realization that, I have, over the course of my childhood, basically burned all opportunities for relationship, and thus, in order to have the environment actually be one that is inviting me in, that there are others that are basically like, no, we want you here, or at least as she believes, she has to suppress basically the aspects of things that she learned while being in the in her
family home.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yep. And that's what's been the arc of her arc in the story thus far, and it's been very satisfying to watch.
Right.
And we've gotten a lot of consistent growth in that regard, even if it comes slowly.
Right. Because though that neither of them were getting more and more vulnerable over the course of the story. They were more just showing... Well, no, they were getting more and more vulnerable over the course of the story in their own respective ways.
In a lot of wonderful ways.
The thing that the movie kind of tried to bring up here was that the fear of holding back a part of yourself leads to people making really rash decisions when they think that, then I need to show 100% of my awful side in order for them to accept me, because if they don't accept me at my worst, how will they be able to accept me on a daily basis? That is a false dichotomy that a lot of young people who don't have a lot of experience in relationships basically believe that this has to be this way because,
there's an element of truth in it.
Well, there's an element of truth in it, but it's the idea that if you have one really shitty day, then, they're just going to leave you and stuff like that. And the thing is that could be the case. That could be the case.
Yep.
But the difference is that on average, you're going to have about 100, shittier days. And it's more the desire to, not change or to stick things in a specific kind of lane where you'll only kind of be this way because you're like, well, this is just how I am, but you won't make compromises for the other person. You won't seek them out. You won't offer a little bit of vulnerability in the midst of that. That's where the relationship happens, is in that middle ground where you acknowledge, one, I have these weaknesses, I have these flaws, I have these problems. Two, you're over here, so I'm going to bridge the gap. And like the nurse was saying, that gap, and making the little leaps across the gap, that's where love happens. That's where the good shit happens. And the thing is that there's going to be times when people put up walls in the gap to be like, I don't want you to try and come across here. And the thing is that people do that consciously and subconsciously all the time.
And that's not a bad thing.
That's not a bad
that's
thing.
a very good and healthy thing. And then, because that's what makes it valuable when someone decides to let those walls down.
Right. It's the idea that boundaries are actually
very important.
Very healthy
and so if
attractive
you
thing.
have a situation where the person that you like, all of this stuff happens and it's wonderful and everything, and then they start treating you like shit, right? That's not just a thing where you just, well, okay,
what's wrong with me?
What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Oh, they stopped doing it at some point. Oh, you aren't being considerate of their feelings. No, that's fucked.
Fuck
that is
that.
fucked.
Yeah.
And the thing is that happens a lot in romantic stories because it's we're going to have dramatic things happen that you don't like, and then we're going to give you catharsis afterwards, and by contrast, it makes the catharsis feel stronger. The problem is that you can do it in such a way where then you end up basically making it so that the person doesn't even want the catharsis, because then it feels bad.
It feels like fabricated.
It feels fabricated. It feels in some ways just still abusive, right? Where it's okay, cool. Now Miyuki has seen the vulnerable sides of Kaguya so that he'll stick around. And because the bad shit that Kaguya did was not addressed, it was not apologized for, it was not even acknowledged as being something that was wrong by the show. Miyuki, his end result, because they didn't touch on it anymore, is what the Maki said, of why aren't you being considerate of her feelings, right? And we see the results of it where he then starts to internalize everything, and he's like, fine, I'll just be better because it's all my fault, right? And while we get that addressed, we don't get the thing addressed that caused that to become such a problem here in the first place. And the reason why I have such a beef with it, and I'm not even sure if I can really enjoy this movie, is because that's coming after this wonderful 3 seasons that we've had where these characters have started to get vulnerable with each other. We haven't had backpedaling. We've had pauses because they get scared.
I mean, they've done definitely a form of backpedaling. Like
the
times.
premise is about backpedaling, but taking that in context, right? You each time that they have growth, you can see how the growth is a character thing that is there, even if the progression of the characters and how they relate with each other with regards to the traditional romance kind of plot, beats and stuff, is not necessarily progressing in the way that, you would traditionally expect.
True.
And so to then have all of this stuff, it feels like it's souring some of my wonderful experience with the rest of the show, because now, like, Miyuki's horrible things that were happening to him were just comedy beats, right? It's isn't it funny that, like, he's needing to deal with all this stuff? It's like, I mean, it's extreme for sure, and there's a dark humor aspect of it, totally, but like, no. But it's gonna be flipped, right? We're gonna get to see the point where it's not funny, and that's gonna be dealt with, right? Oh, we're not. Okay.
Yeah, and this is where I think that the show kind of, the anime kind of made a gutsy decision here, was basically to say that from the love perspective, he loved this side of her before she changed. His approval of her does not change based on the things that she did here, because one, for the most part, she had already done, and I think this is something that the story tries to bring up here, she had already done the thing that kind of wigged him out a little bit, where she showed up and she was Kaguya-chan, little Kaguya.
Yeah.
That, in and of itself, is something that I think needs to be addressed as well. The idea that people who have very immediate, like, big things happen, go into an emotional blubbery mess and stuff like that, I feel like a lot of people go, that's fine, because for the most part, it's harmless. It's just a thing as to, what's going on. Whereas, no, one of the things that is very similar to the Ice Princess Kaguya that comes about in the next day is showing that she essentially has a form of a trauma response to things going in a situation where she needs help. She needs actual help. Now, the thing is that because this one wasn't directed in a harmful way towards Miyuki, it's not a it's not a thing that's seen as like abusive. Like there's no way it is in that regard.
Yeah.
But what I think is very common in a lot of stories like this is to have people go, hey, this is my unhealthy response to something, but I actually can't change it. This is just a part of who I am. That's fundamentally not true. But even if you go the route of, hey, to the person though, it's not that big of a deal that you have that every once in a while.
Right, and that's the finding people whose dysfunction is compatible rather than where it drives you apart and becomes a problem.
Exactly.
Right?
So now I want to use some real life stories as an example of this.
Yeah.
I have been in a few relationships where I've realized that I actually have a type specifically.
Oh.
And the type is basically that I like assertive women. I really do. Like if you fold when I go, hey, what do you want to do? And they go, whatever you want to do. That pisses me off so much. You should be a whole individual person with wants, desires, dreams, and needs. And that my influence should matter nothing in that regard. You should be like, I want some fucking pizza tonight, so we're going to get some pizza.
Yeah, let's go.
If I then say, okay, cool. And then they go, well, what would you have liked? I'm like, no. I might want hamburgers, but I don't want you to then go, well, then we're doing hamburgers.
Right. You don't need to be people pleaser when we're in a relationship.
Exactly. But what I have seen is people who do that also end up sometimes being people that mask that they actually are wanting, pizza, but they constantly say that they want hamburgers. And then they build up basically why didn't you let me have pizza?
Oh,
and then it's no, you never said that you wanted pizza.
Right.
You said you wanted hamburgers.
It's not my job to read your mind.
Exactly. So, therefore, my experience has been slowly, going away from that being a thing at all in relationships, because I'll just directly ask someone and they give me a direct answer.
Yeah.
But if you're in a relationship with someone where they have some kind of trauma response to specific things where they then shift and mask into a people pleaser mode, that's a really great example of one that I think most people experience there, because it's almost too big of an umbrella. Like in some ways, everything Kaguya was doing in the masking sense, even in some ways
the Kaguya-chan part.
Yeah, all that other stuff that I could say even a little bit the Ice Princess, but I don't want to go into that right now. But just the idea that all those other things are people pleasers, that then, is something that a lot of people will just generally say, that's okay if you do it a little bit. But to me, I'm actually kind of the opposite. I get really, really frustrated when it's a constant people pleaser thing, but they won't be assertive and be like, oh, no.
Well, because then you don't actually feel like you're connecting with the person. You're connecting with their trauma response.
Right, exactly. So I would rather someone be actually a little bit, not rude, but like a little bit, brusque and or cold, if you will, and being assertive and honest in those areas there. So this is an area of something where I'm like, oh, yeah. That dysfunction, to me, is something that I've seen varying degrees of in past relationships, where I'm like, oh, yeah. Because the difference is that what I've then grown to be a mature person able to do is to confront it in a healthy manner.
Yeah.
Is basically then to go, well, I'm not going to internalize that. I'm going to go, hey, this is just a bad day right now. Like I hear what you're saying, but you're being kind of hurtful right now.
Right.
Like, this hurts me. And it's not a thing where I feel like I'm being, where I'm accommodating the behavior in any way. What I'm just basically saying is like, hey, that hurt.
Yeah.
And then it's the whole thing of like, oh my gosh, like, I wasn't trying to hurt you, but it's like, no, I totally get it. You weren't.
Right.
But that's something where when people have a dysfunction in a specific area, healthy confrontation is like one of the best possible ways for this, because you're not saying, oh, if you slip up in any possible way, I'm going to call you out on it. No, it's basically saying, hey, in this relationship, there's an exchange.
There's
of
a
feelings.
give and take. It's
There's
not
a give and take.
one-sided.
There's stuff coming across the gap here that isn't necessarily consciously being sent across, and letting people know that, hey, you know, that thing there, that kind of stung a little bit. I don't think you necessarily meant it, but could you not do that anymore? Like that'd be great. And you know, maybe they do it again. Like
it's a subconscious habit, and it's just, you know,
exactly.
And that's where one of those things of when you get really comfortable and familiar with somebody, you'll start to find those aspects of them that bother you, right? And you can't change them or expect them to change for you necessarily.
Exactly.
But you can hold a standard that you're going to communicate to them clearly what kind of an effect on you these sorts of things have, so that that way there's understanding, you know?
Right. But what I see way too often in anime story romances especially is perfect people on one side of the relationship.
And that's not just anime romances, that's like romances in general.
Yeah. But also I would say specifically in the relationships where a woman is way too accommodating of the man specifically, they won't call them out on it. So this is kind of fun to be in the other side of it here, where this is actually the classic situation where the woman is cold and unfeeling here, does some things that could be, you know, interpreted in a better way, but also then ends up actually like really hurting the guy's feelings. But even though it wasn't, like you were saying, addressed in like an apologetic manner, I do feel like this is actually a big step for them to be able to say, yeah, that was a part of me that's been hidden all along, and I was scared that if you saw it, you would break up with me. And then he's like, well, yeah, I've been kind of the same way. And even then, I'm kind of a masochist.
Yeah.
I don't really care about that part of you as much.
Well, except see,
And yet,
see,
I know what you're
because,
saying.
Because he did care. He really cared. It literally put him in the hospital. And what you were saying about you usually see it with the swapped gender dynamics, right? With how it's treated. My theory on that is that it's based on target demographic for audience. Most of the time, romance stories in writing and in a bunch of other like mediums and stuff, overwhelmingly it is skewed towards a female audience, right?
Okay.
As a result of that, you'll get a lot of those situations where, like, and it's easy to tell like which gender it's mostly being marketed to, right? Usually, which one's the more perfect in the relationship, right? Princess versus prince,
Right. If we're going for a generic heterosexual, straight,
yeah, exactly, right. And then
style.
And then the person that's the sort of the set up to be the perfect one or the more desirable one, right?
Right. There's usually one perfect one and one imperfect one.
Exactly.
Because they usually do a first person perspective for romances as well. They don't shift to the first person perspective that much.
I had a K-drama that I was watching that I really liked that was a fun, zany romance.
Right.
And it was absolutely ruined for me at about the halfway point because the guy started just being an absolute asshole to the girl, and the girl was the one that was apologizing and like, yeah, I did these little things that would have made this person start to be an asshole, and so that excuses it. It was just
because a lot of people don't know how to do love well, and so when the person has already kind of solidified in their mind that they're in love with the person, they will potentially even tolerate some really fucked up stuff because they're like, well, but I love them, so you know.
And that can still totally be something that can be explored in narrative and stuff. Absolutely. And it can be very, very enjoyable in its own way and all that. But when it comes into a comedy show, that makes it a little bit tougher. When it comes into a comedy show and then the person is like, this seems off, this seems wrong, and then they go and try and get advice, and whether I totally believe that Maki would give a response like that, absolutely. But the story still decided to have the people that would actually give decent advice never be brought into it, right? And so
that is interesting though. I definitely like have some things that I'm like not fully on board with kind of your perspective on this, but I agree with a lot of it. But I think the thing that was actually kind of weird from a storytelling decision here, and I would love to know if it's an adaptation thing where they cut some stuff out, but I actually do feel like there's a missing set of conversations specifically with either Ishigami or Kei or his father about this. Now, even if those things didn't happen in the story, or they just, it didn't make sense in the you could kind of make an argument that it didn't make sense for Miyuki to be sharing this because he's so vulnerable and scared because of the kiss being so immediately flipped on its head with regards to them never communicating afterwards, or not really communicating immediately. That might be a part of it, but I do find it weird that this kind of stuff did happen in the past, and since then now Miyuki has more, I would say, connection and vulnerability that he shares with other people. Even though, to be fair, then this is something that I find as kind of like a joke a little bit. I think we are supposed to be basing this on the premise that the student council doesn't know that they are in love with each other.
Sure, but like
Kaguya and him are.
But like Miyuki talks to Ishigami, like he would regularly talk to Ishigami about stuff earlier on in the show.
But not about Kaguya specifically. And I think it only really happens.
No, he totally would.
Like what?
Like I'm thinking of the dub scene because of Ishigami's rant is the one that sticks in my mind.
But he doesn't know that it's Kaguya.
No, right. But that's the whole I know. A friend,
That's what I'm saying is specifically, it's not about Kaguya specifically in those instances. It's about the, hey, mystery friend kind of thing. It's the indirection that they say in the movie here specifically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen, which yes,
right,
there are things that characters will do, but at its core, the creator still has a hell of a lot of control of how the story goes, and that specifically wasn't done. And on top of that,
it did feel weird.
It did feel weird. And then when Kaguya goes to the person who actually would be able to give good romantic advice, because she's in an established relationship, right?
Yeah.
Even though she knows, I guess Kaguya just wasn't aware of how awful she was being to the president, and so didn't bring it up in the conversation.
No. So this is the part that's really, really tricky here. Is that Kaguya was the Ice Princess. A lot of these people knew her as the Ice Princess. So when she reverted back to this, a lot of them actually kind of they were like, I don't want to touch this with a 39.5-foot pole.
Because of course they wouldn't.
Well, right, but that's why they don't give any advice. They're scared of her.
Well, but that
happens
right. But this is the thing that just felt off to me, is that Kaguya goes into Ice Princess mode, but specifically with Shirogane. Even when she's dealing with the other people and she's still kind of in the Ice Princess mode, you still get the Dere side of the Sun, that she is actively aware of herself and being willing to show to the people that she's talking to.
Right.
Because she is apparently actually distraught over the things that are happening, and yet that doesn't stop her from doing the things that she does to Miyuki.
Right. Because she's masking specifically to him.
Right. Yeah. And so the fact that
she was in control of the whole situation.
No, right.
There. Yeah.
But the fact that there's if you hurt someone unintentionally, absolutely still apologize for it, right? Mm-hmm. If you hurt someone intentionally and you don't apologize for it,
well, I mean, what do you call intentionally at that point?
Well,
No, but that's the thing. If you're aware that you did it versus you intended to do it, that's a very different thing. I think the main thing that we can be certain of here is that she was aware that her actions, eventually she ended up realizing that they were hurting him.
But the only reason
but I think in that moment there, when they were in the hallway walking up the stairs there and stuff, she did not realize that she was hurting him. I don't think she was aware or intending to.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
At some point, she realized it, and what felt weird is that the thing that made her realize, I guess this took a toll on him, is because he had a physical problem.
Right.
He collapsed, right? Which, granted,
it needed to be something that extreme.
It needed to be something that extreme.
Yes.
And even afterwards, it was not an acknowledgement of any of his feelings. It was the fact that,
he had been overworking
himself to the point that he collapsed, right?
Right.
I mean, yes, that's something to be worried about, but once you realize that you were having this serious of an effect on him, you don't
right.
And that's the build up to then go into the thing that we've been wanting for 3 seasons.
Yeah.
That doesn't exactly get me excited for it. That makes me think maybe this actually just shouldn't happen. Maybe we should take a break. Maybe the reason that, we're going to have another season after this is because it's they're going to need some time apart.
Right.
Like, but it doesn't end up doing that. And so it's this weird thing where the end was everything that I could have wanted and could have hoped from this movie. And yet the stuff in the middle feels like icky and unnecessary.
Yeah, I do think, though, that one of the things that you might be bringing into this a little bit is the idea that, well, because they had the kiss, that suddenly everything is completely hunky-dory. There's no issues with them as characters.
Before the movie?
Before the movie, yeah, exactly. And I think that one of the things that why I would call this an ambitious decision and a controversial one is mostly because of the idea of it being an immediate form of backpedaling. But the reason why I would call it an actually ambitious decision is the idea that if we looked at Miyuki and Kaguya over the course of this show, the amount of dysfunction on display is something that we've kind of hand-waved away for the purpose of the comedy.
Right, that's part of the premise, yeah.
Well, right, but the idea then that if we are going to actually have any kind of meaningful progress in the romance, then the nature of the premise would not actually be the premise. It would have to be something different.
And we did that a bit in season 3 as well as in this movie.
But the difference is that if you're going to have it be actual romance, meaning there's no winners or losers anymore. There's no more fighting to who confesses or anything like that. It's all completely solidified. They're basically setting up the will they get married or not kind of thing. You need to address the dysfunction. And so this movie basically said, we're going to address all of it in one movie. And the thing is that that's the thing. They tried to. They tried to. And the idea of having Kaguya's dysfunction actually be put on display here in an extreme manner, I think is important. Because if they didn't do it, it'd be very easy to look at this as, from another perspective, when are we ever going to address the Kaguya from season 1?
Right,
because
trauma doesn't just go away just because you have some happy fun times at school.
Well, not just not just the trauma thing of how she feels about her own stuff there, but the fact that Miyuki dealt with Ice Princess Kaguya for the majority of season 1. We are either going to go for the result of he down bad hard, which is obviously true just as much as she is.
Right.
She likes him a lot.
Both down bad hard, both very proud, right?
Both extremely proud.
Yes.
So the idea then that they don't carry some little level of potential pride going into the next stage of things, I think would be like also like a bit of a kind of a bit of a
they become different people.
Well, it just, I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe it as much. So the idea that they're not going into this necessarily perfectly equal from a perspective, I do think that there's an element of the way in which she kind of extends out the hand further than he does in the last third of the episode. Like she kind of takes the extra step by being the initiator through a majority of this.
Which is nice and fresh because I would say the entire the story of the show up until now is that things like this will happen and then Miyuki chases after her, right?
Right.
Yeah, and so now we get the reverse of that because there's better understanding, of themselves and each other, and so she ends up running after him. And it's great.
And because also, it bookends the nature of their relationship to begin with. It's the acknowledgement of his initiation thus far that set this up to begin with. The idea that one of the things that I feel like this movie actually addressed in a very, 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 it could have done more, basically. But in a very, I would say, good enough kind of way, is the pictures on his wall basically being like, I'm going to forge myself into the person that's worthy of you. That is in and of itself one of the underlying problems with masculine culture. Is the idea that there is this and I would say this also is the case in feminine culture as well, but the idea that I need to forge myself into an icon of a person that
could be desirable, basically.
Well, no. something that kind of sounds a lot like what the mantras were on Kaguya's family wall thing of rules.
Yes, right.
So it bridges the gap, I would say, enough in my mind, where it's we need to really acknowledge like how dysfunctional Miyuki has been all this time, to the point where if you take a step back for a second and you empathize with Kaguya's confusion with all of this, it's that it started actually immediately when she questioned the kiss, because she got so close to him that she saw, oh, that wasn't you. You did all that. And it wasn't truly you. And I'm okay with that, because my heart was a swooning and a swinging. But
that's the other thing that that I felt kind of weird. We get that here towards the end. Okay, cool. That absolutely makes sense for it to be something that she would have noticed and would have affected things and all of that stuff. We didn't see that when she was actually dealing with the aftermath. There was no indication other than just oh my God, I was probably swept up in the moment, right? Because of all the insecurities and nervousness as a result of that happening. But nothing of there's something about this kiss that doesn't work, not because he didn't say that he loved me, right? But it's I feel like that wasn't entirely him, right? That's like, if that's something that she was thinking and feeling, why didn't we see it? Like, why did it need to be saved for after all of the super uncomfortable stuff? Because then that also, to me, it can kind of give it the vibe of like, we're actually going to try and like thinly paint over all the horrible stuff that happened, because she was actually thinking of something else that was very serious and like,
again, it doesn't matter what she was thinking in the moment. She
of course,
hurt him.
No, yeah, it absolutely doesn't excuse it or anything.
Right.
But it's basically we're going to try and direct the audience's attention as much away from that as possible, so that they forget about it, right? So that we can have this wonderful moment here.
That's a perspective. I can't change your mind in that regard there, but I feel like there's a little bit more that we might be going into, which is kind of trying to deduce the intent of the creator here, more so than is actually like helpful in terms of discussing the story itself, because it's not a thing that is really up for discussion. It's just kind of your perspective on this.
No. Yeah, intent of the creator is only a guiding light to try and notice things in the story that you wouldn't have otherwise, right? It's if this is what they're getting at in their headspace, then let's look for all the clues that might help support that, right? So that way we can get a better experience with it. All we have is what actually happens in the story, and then as far as being able to hopefully see a way that something that is problematic to, say, my enjoyment of the story, try and get inside the creator's mind to see if there's something that they are getting at, so that way we might be able to piece together things, so that like, oh, okay, this actually was addressed, or something along those lines.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a way to do it, but I think the better way is to just look in other areas of the story, to see what there kind of is to add against it, basically, so that you kind of keep it all in measure. Because I do feel like the main point of the story here was about them unmasking themselves.
Yes.
The idea that they do it poorly is important.
Yes.
If
they're in high school, for crying out loud. Yeah.
Well, not just they're in high school, but literally they are the most idiotic people in love.
Yep.
And not only that, we have now specifically done the anime thing of given both of them the backstory mini episode in this movie here, to basically clear up any misconceptions as to why they're doing this. So therefore, we as the audience can kind of go, oh, okay, does it make sense for them to make these decisions there? Yes. Does it also make sense for why their responses go this specific way? Maybe. But
throw in a Hayasaka line when we need to, in order to, maybe move things in a particular direction.
Well, okay, so the Hayasaka bit, I actually think that there's something that needs to be kind of brought up here. Let's actually go back to the first bit here, because I do feel like this was something that, looking back on it, it might have been the straw that breaks the camel's back, or it might have been just the way in which she starts freaking out about sex specifically.
Sure.
Because that was done that was done not by Hayasaka.
No,
That-
it totally was. She's like, if you kiss them like that, that's the equivalent of having sex.
Okay. So,
Like,
Right,
because
but-
the thing is, I love the scene. It's very funny. It's lighthearted and everything, but it ends up having very serious, not comedically based ramifications. And so that's, yeah.
but I wanted to bring up this though. She asks Kashiwagi because she copied Kashiwagi's, at least what she believed Kashiwagi's kiss was, to then the how long did you have sex after that?
Right.
Kashiwagi lies and says 2 months, but then admits 40 seconds. That solidifies in her mind that, well, Hayasaka's right in the aspect of the kiss there, but that reveals to Kaguya that maybe she was faking the kiss a little bit. Like it's a performance as well. It's an element of the whole.
Oh, sure.
It's not a genuine thing. So it creates a real thought in her mind because it's actually true that she performed here. She
did that because
she
that's
did the
what I'm supposed to do,
people-pleasing,
right? Yeah.
I'm the girl kind of thing, and then she spirals. The idea that Hayasaka brings it up, I don't think that's what can be blamed here, really.
And
it's a kind of a blameless thing because that's just kind of true.
And could you go back to the bit where she's talking to Kashiwagi, because that was actually something where I missed some of the subtitles slightly, where I couldn't tell
for sure.
whether it was the how long did the kiss last and then 40 seconds versus
No.
the
She's talking about
actually like calling out the.
Yeah, I'd like to ask you something. What does it ask me? Anything? We see how long did you wait to have sex after your first kiss?
Right.
I mean, Sebastian, don't ridicule me. I couldn't be more serious than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is a serious conversation. Well, after that first kiss, maybe 2 months. Of course, you'd at least wait that long, right? And I love that Hayasaka is almost sitting here like,
Like,
I'm
hold
about
on.
to be vindicated. Just
Yep.
hold up. That bitch is lying. And how long after a grown-up kiss? Showing
Right.
the difference there.
Yeah.
Because, well, if you do a grown-up kiss, a French kiss,
Yeah.
then she's like, about,
About
40 seconds.
Yeah. Right.
And then Kaguya immediately, like, shatters. She shifts
Right.
literally out of, like,
Yeah.
Kaguya-chan into like...
terrified,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah, are you finally starting to see the light, Lady Kaguya?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, while the chances are that the president sees you as a super nympho lust monster are very oddly
Like
placed.
exaggerated for the sake of comedy.
Yeah, exactly. She then has
This whole downward spiral is a result of that.
She has the downward spiral, exactly.
Right. Yep.
So I do think that Hayasaka overstepped things there, but the idea that Kaguya is combining all of that with the element of, oh, we went through this whole euphoric moment
Yes.
in the last season to then having the full actual grinding to a halt thing be about the way in which she kissed him again. She initiated the kiss.
Right.
So from her perspective, she potentially ruined everything because again, there was no confession there.
Yep.
It was all just a big thing.
Totally.
And she did actually get swept up in the moment. That is actually what happened. So the
Right.
idea that she reverts to, minus 20 IQ,
Yeah, exactly. Right, like it just doesn't is just so flabbergasted, horrified, still excited, but the butterflies have turned to knots that have then been twisted and spiraled and all of that stuff in her stomach. Yeah.
This I feel like was something that and I almost feel like it's a bit contrived to say this, but I feel like the Council of Kaguya's bit kind of set this up to happen eventually. And it's just the fact that they went for the, hey, can we have almost a bit of a cliche thing where a
Right.
really weird misunderstanding
Yep.
leads to a very realistic self-sabotage, but then the self-sabotage then leads to the council then going, we're going to fully revert to season 1 Kaguya.
Even when
To
in the council,
protect ourselves,
the stupid Kaguya
Yes.
is literally saying the things of, why don't we just talk to him about it?
Well,
you
right.
know?
It's the things that end up basically being the result of the end of the movie. It's
yes, after we go through all of the other stuff.
Right, exactly. So I think then that in a lot of ways, the fact that this all happens in the beginning of the movie makes the pain less.
Right, because it's setting up this is what the movie's about, right?
Yeah.
It's like, here we go. This is the conflict. It hurts a bit that it's coming off of the biggest W that we have had in the show thus far, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, this is the story that we're going to be telling. Here you go. And again, this is where the fact that it is a movie adaptation was absolutely a fantastic idea, because holy shit, this would have been even more torturous if it was in a week by week kind of situation.
Yeah, because even if it was only 4 episodes, for instance,
that's still a whole month. Where it's like,
still a whole month.
Yeah.
Where you get essentially 2 weeks of pain, and I do feel like maybe the author was kind of aware of this. I would love to hear what the initial fan feedback when the chapters were released.
Yeah.
Because episodes are not a chapter make.
That's true, because with manga chapters, then it's taking even longer.
Yeah, it could be 2 to 5 chapters,
Well, I mean,
per episode.
Right, exactly. So then for this bit, you're talking
maybe 20.
Yeah,
maybe,
like this
maybe
is
18.
It's truly
15.
a whole arc of the story, right?
Yeah, chapters.
Yeah. No, I can only imagine. And by the way, for everybody that was like freaking out because it's like, oh no, the movie was split up by Crunchyroll. They're not gonna watch it. It's separated. Right? This is probably one of the biggest times that I've ever been like, yep, you were right. Yeah, that would have been
community suggesting to do it all in one go.
To do it all in one go, it actually would have been disastrous to have not done it all in one go.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Now that the characterization aspect of bringing forth all their parts and their pasts and everything, kind of in some ways recapping the journey thus far, all to the point here where then we now see, oh, this is now who Miyuki is as well, showing that in some ways we never really got to know him fully
right
in the entire show. I think that's probably the biggest twist of the whole thing here, because we always knew that he was a performance anxiety driven,
absolutely,
absolute monkey, just must
do the thing,
must do the thing, exactly.
Numbers go up,
doing the best he could. I think what we did was like classic society, we minimized that. We basically said, okay, cool, but that's just what every performing high-level guy does.
That's part of the since we essentially don't have a prince like it's not just one prince or princess, they're both princes and princesses in their own different ways. with the like societal paragon notion for that particular gender bullshit. Yeah. Now this is the point where it's like that's actually like that's awful. Like
so let's subvert all of that and go back to just having a classic romance. If this story continues in the long form to the point where they get like kids and stuff,
right, where we actually get to see the ring and all that,
and it's the no. This was the premise for the person just really wanting to write a classic romance story, but we needed to have there be some
jump
really
hoops and
some really attractive marketing stuff that can get people into that.
Yep.
So before we get into that, we're going to show them go through their character arcs of becoming whole-ish and healthy-ish people. I love that shit. Because I definitely do think that this movie went for a little bit of shock and spice for the sake of it. But the idea that, by the end of it, she's initiating the actual beginnings of the confession. She's bringing up like all the
in no uncertain
efforts
terms
that she's going to take to make this work.
Yeah,
the ways in which she's going to basically allow him to lean on her.
Right.
And
I that was probably my favorite
beautiful
bit of the whole end bit with the confession and everything, because it's not the like, yes, I want to see your vulnerable side, but it's not the you cannot do this thing that you see as being valuable to yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because masks,
masks are helpful.
Masks serve a purpose, right?
They help,
but it's but if you ever want to take it off,
if you want to take a break,
I'll be right here.
Yeah.
And that's you know,
Like that's it.
That's-
That's
that-
love, bitch. you know?
that's love, bitch, right? Like,
Yeah.
like in far more than any "I love you, will you be my boyfriend?" Right? Like that's it right there.
I also think it was inspired to have her take the little wooden toy.
Oh, and then take
bring the little white ribbon and cloth underneath it. And it's not even a ribbon.
it's just the
form it
padding
into a
that-
ribbon.
Yeah,
Of course
it's her new hair tie. Yeah. Like
there's
that-
such a thing that they do in stories of romance where a woman kind of adjusts her hair in some way. But the idea to have it flip twice, but to go back to the original place it was with that slight difference.
Yep.
That's inspired, because that's the real difference here, I would say, is that Hayasaka was the one that gave her the ribbon, at least from the way they kind of showed it here, was that was the influence of Hayasaka kind of slowly kneading and melting that little bit of the exterior of the ice so that it could crack open and let that little bit in from other people. While her friends and stuff also were the big, like, they were the actual hammer coming through here.
Yes.
The idea then that she kind of chose this and made this out of nothing, the idea that she took his nonsensical, silly, stupid gift and made it into an object of love
that is precious
and monumental
and priceless.
something priceless, something that will be remembered forever.
Yep.
She basically said, "Hey, you know that handkerchief you gave me? You still found a way to give me something even better."
Yeah. The thing.
I essentially took a square bit of cloth that, handkerchief actually wouldn't have worked to do this, but this is thin enough and large enough. Oh, perfect.
Right. Yeah.
There you
It's
go.
you don't have to be perfect because your imperfect might be someone else's perfect. Right.
Right.
Like, there you go.
And I feel like by having her entreat him so much in this way and chase after him in this way, even though it might have been through the comedy of trying to be like, hey, show me this side, there's an element of fear in the aspect of saying, hey, show me this before I've been vulnerable, being selfish, if you will, that gives that opportunity to be like, yeah, this, if you actually showed me this, that would be the truest form of vulnerability.
Yep.
And while in some ways, Kaguya did need to kind of initiate from this perspective kind of that you're going for here. I do feel like those actions are a form of addressing it.
Yeah, it's right, and that's the part of it that's tough for me because again, I think this resolution, like this last chunk, I think is absolutely perfect and wonderful, but there's that part of me that's like, well, the thing that brought about the bad spins in the relationship, as far as the movie and the dynamic and everything, that was something that was unpredictable, right? There's no reason to know that necessarily the same thing won't happen again, and that Kaguya's response to it won't be the exact same.
Yeah, and that's okay. I'm not trying to just conflate what you're saying or minimize it, but the idea that in the same way that Miyuki might end up just falling back into performing again and doing this all out of some desire of solving his own inadequacy, she might essentially withhold her feelings.
There's withholding the person's feelings and then being abusive with the partner.
I was going to get to that, but the other side is being like actually just mean. And this is something that I feel like a lot of people don't acknowledge specifically from the guy's perspective here. And this is something that I wanted to use a real world kind of example of this, is that a lot of people nowadays have really done a lot to help demystify feelings for men.
Yeah.
The idea that men can be vulnerable with their feelings and share their pain, their sadness. And one of the images nowadays of the, I would say, where kind of the modern man is someone that's able to actually cry.
Yeah.
And that's something that's really beautiful. That being said, one of the things that is happening, I would say, a lot nowadays from my perspective is that there are a lot of guys that are realizing that they are being rejected a lot when they show their vulnerable feelings in that regard. And it's this area that I feel like we as a society need to take good strides in, specifically in helping men be vulnerable with their feelings, because a lot of the rejection with the vulnerability of their feelings now has shifted away from it being from within the groups of men to being with the women that they interact with closely.
And that's why I love the fact that at the end of the movie, Miyuki was not just like, I'm not going to give you the gift. He was actively running away from her.
Yeah.
Because like,
Yeah.
there's times where like previously in the show with Kaguya, for instance, she's running because there are emotions that she's dealing with because of personal like history and trauma and things like that she has not been able to fully deal with, and so she runs, right? And then you get the person that runs after her to be like, hey, we're still here with you, you know, even if you run, it's okay, right? In this situation, I would say that Miyuki running was the healthy option. It's the thing that he wasn't able to do at the top of the stairs because she said, no, you in fact must stay here.
God, yeah.
Right? And no, the right thing to do there is to distance yourself. It is to get away from that. Her then chasing after him and basically showcasing that it's the things that I did back then, I'm going to display through actions that is not who I am now.
Right.
But in what she did, there wasn't necessarily any acknowledgement that I did that back there and that probably had a really hurtful effect on you, right? It's just showing you don't need to worry about it right now, but that doesn't necessarily give any guarantee, right? That's something that the person even understands what they did.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I feel like it would have been easy to make it not be that.
Yeah.
So.
But wow. I am very happy for season 4. Like the idea that we get a season 4 and it's actually continuing the story from here.
Yeah.
Like if that actually happens, I'm going to be astonished because Kaguya as a show has effectively flipped the whole script. They're using the movie setup to do that. It's perfect in that regard. The way in which we left things off sets literally they did a new game start joke to be like yeah they could
we know what we're doing.
They could end the story there, but they're not.
Well, and
they're
we have
absolutely not.
We have a separate love romance subplot that's going on that apparently took a crazy turn.
Apparently,
like a couple crazy turns.
He stayed late or at the very least got onto her bed with her.
Yeah.
Tsubame was like,
But then afterwards, apparently it didn't end well for some reason because...
Well, something went off. They talked about it in the midst of them being on the bed together. We saw them talking to each other.
No, right. But then...
She went to go see Miyuki's dad.
Right.
His moonlighting as a mall fortune teller.
Yep.
That was hilarious.
That was wonderful. But it's like, oh, come on. Like,
you're baiting us with that stuff
like,
there.
That's probably one of the few things, who knows, maybe it happened exactly like that in the manga. That's something where I could see that being the one spicy bit of like, okay, but because it's a movie, we do need to keep it focused on like the
Kaguya
actual main thing that's happening in the movie because we're not doing TV show right now.
Right.
And so as a result of that, like the stuff that happened there, it's just, we're going to get to this in the show and probably like, pretty early on in the 4th season.
Yeah.
But that's not here, but here you go. Guess what it was exactly that went down,
I believe it.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all, this movie was a doozy.
It was.
Thank you so much for watching the reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next movie's reaction and discussion right now, I need to double check the thing there, but I'll leave it in a pinned comment as to what's coming up next. But yeah, if you want to see that movie's reaction discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below. For our Patreon, you can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out my Persona 5 Royal Let's Play on Twitch. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
Next time.